what caused the riot, what effects it had, who were the victims, how much property did they lose, what incited the riot, where are the victims buried, who are the descendants, and that is what our commission is doing today. We're looking at the descendants, the survivors. Tulsa didn't have the first race riot. There were many other riots in this country, many race riots. In fact, the summer of 1919, there were so many race riots all over the country that it was called Red Summer because so much blood flowed. There were other riots that have been known more in history. Wilmington, North Carolina had a riot that there's quite a bit of information out about that. Rosewood, Florida. Lots of information about that, even a popular movie made about that. But Tulsa's riot was the biggest. It had the most destruction, a 35-block area, totally wiped out from Archer and Greenwood all the way to Pine, totally decimated, mostly burned to the ground. It had the most casualties of any riot. The Riot Commission can document over 300 deaths. We know where they are buried. We think there may be more. And there is one subcommittee that's looking at the deaths and hoping to use modern technology that's been used in Kosovo and Argentina and other places to uncover mass graves, and we hope to find that. Like the day of that riot, what effect it had on you and your little sister and your parents and your neighbors and this whole city.
I'll start from the time that they came through picking up the Negro men. And at the time, we were in the attic. Father thought it might be good for him to stay downstairs. And he would talk louder so we could hear him. But bullets were raining on our roof. And my mother thought it was either airplanes or something from Standpipe Hill. But they were raining on there. So when the man asked my father, said, "Nigger, do you have a gun?" He might have had one, I don't know whether he was shooting or not, but he said no. He said, "We're taking you on." He said, "Please don't burn my house. Don't set my house on fire." Well, that was wishful thinking because everything around was burning. And they said, okay. As we were going away, within 5 minutes, our house was smoking and we go up the alley. So we rushed downstairs as quick as we could. We had the baby boy was about 2 years old, I think. And mother had to get out the attic. We had to get out very quickly. And as we went out the door, you could see telephone poles falling and fire. And that's when my little sister said, "Ken, is the world on fire?" I said, "I don't know, but we in lots of trouble here." Well, we walked on down to Convention Hall, and there they had many people, thousands of people lined up. And the only way you could be released is that some white employee would come and vouch for you. And my father was working for H.F. Wilcox at the time, and he did come and my father was there among all those people who finally found him because of the names being called. And when he came to get us, I was at that time, as I stated before, I hated all white people because that's who was destroying us and doing everything. But I changed that attitude after Mr. Wilcox was so nice. My father had been working for him a long time. He treated him like a real human being. So we stayed at his house a while. My mother was devastated. She didn't know what to do. She was real young too. She didn't know what to do, trying to raise kids and live in the basement of his house while we were trying to get our house, start getting the house repaired and rebuilt. And the people did not want to sell my father any materials to build. So we had to live in a tent for a good while. But that particular race riot did a loss to mentally devastate my family. My mother and father had moved here from Texas. They're from Texas, and they would have left Tulsa, but my father worked for this rich man, this multimillionaire, Wilcox Oil and Gas. So he decided to try to stick it out, and we did stay. Now, many things happened. I was shown lots of discrimination after that, but we stayed on it. At 18, I left and went to California. I went to New Orleans to school, and after I finished from Xavier, I went to California, taught school for 30 years.
Thank you so much. Mr. Booker's account is very typical of many of the black survivors' accounts. There were unprecedented acts of cruelty where these little children's lives were in danger, their parents, others. There are also unprecedented acts of kindness by whites. They were not all mobsters. They were not all intent on destroying the black community. There were acts of kindness like Mr. Wilcox.
Right.
And Mr. Booker said he got over his hatred. One thing I'm finding interviewing these people is there's a surprising lack of bitterness. They talk about it, they tell what happened, but they hold no grudges, no bitterness toward Tulsa or toward the people today. Many say just let's let bygones be bygones, but let's do learn the lessons of history. So I'm